This is P1 product line. It is your first project, your first packaging project. It is due week 5. It probably has the most amount of deliverables, so you do not have a lot of time to get this going. A product line is basically branded packages that relatively have the same look or feel, like a family design, but they go into different consumer categories. So an example would be um, a box of spaghetti and a jar of spaghetti sauce. So it could be made by the same company, but one obviously is not the same as the other. One um, uh, is sauce, one is pasta, so you wouldn't actually find them in the same area. So that's what you're after here. And I don't want to throw you off with um, what you can do with this project. I think some good examples um, where you could have a lot of fun with design are things like coffee companies often have products that go across different consumer categories. So you'll often see Starbucks will sell beans, and at the same time they might sell a cold coffee drink. So those things go across different lines. Um, one of the things with one of the things with a product line is understanding sort of the differences in the actual visuals themselves. So here you see Starbucks has hot cocoa packages. They have cookies. Those definitely go across product categories. This is a hemp company. So you can see here they have sprays. They have pill forms. So those go across even dog food. So you could have dry dog food and wet dog food. You could have dog toys that would definitely be different than the dog food, which all could be done by the same company. I'm just going to show a couple more. Sakara, if you have a look at some of their stuff, you can see here it's kind of a bit of a spray. There's bars, creams. So all of those things go across. So you can see here they have salads and waters. So all of those things, flavored water. So all of those things go across product lines, and you can actually see how they carry over the overall look and design of the brand itself. So that's the most important thing. So as you're thinking about the overall look and feel of these things, what you want to do is tie them in visually. So you can see here, Sakara has a simple word mark, and you are going to design a logo in this project. So that is important. One of the things that you want to keep in mind is that logos on packaging are typically not the same as corporate logos. So they are often much simpler. Sometimes they're word marks with just a little hint of an icon, but they end up on the packaging. So they have to be legible and they have to work with the packaging itself. So you are going to create the logo and word mark, and that will be part of the project. So you have to do a minimum of 2 different packages. So some of the things that you want to think about, um, stay away from doing things that are small. And I've had students do this last year. So someone did like an eyeliner, and it really is a waste of time and design because it ends up being so small that your surface area, you can do nothing with it. And so the face or the surface area, you want to try and think of something that is actually going to allow you to design, right? So instead of when you see like eyeliner, it typically is like one word and a color and some information. So there's nothing particularly interesting for you to design there. So try and choose things that have some surface area. Try and choose things that they have to be two different shapes, right? So you can't just duplicate the same box and go, okay, well, this one is, this one is cream, and this one, this one is cookies, and then but they have the exact same box. So make sure you have two different packages. They don't have to be boxes, but boxes are typically the easiest and best to work with. They don't necessarily have to be square shape. You can completely change them. So you're going to have two different products made by the same organization. You're going to name it, and you're going to create the simple logo for it. So some of the methods that we're going to be looking at is you're going to research and select your target market. You're going to research and select two product categories. You're going to develop a target audience profile. And you're going to create mood boards that reflect your understanding of the product category. So basically showing what other competitors are in that landscape. You're going to design a brand mark or redesign an existing one. Obviously, name and develop imagery. You're going to then, at the end, you will present your mock-ups as a single, on a single sort of document from Dimensions. So with this one, there is lots of research that you have to do. So if you have a look here, if you're doing food products, for instance, you have to have some nutritional facts on the back. So there are links in Moodle and in Slack for how you lay those out. So there's guides, and they can't be like designed. They actually have to use the exact information, type size that is legally required. So it's not something you can change. So you are going to design a creative brief, a competitor, and mood board, positioning mood board. You're going to create logo or word mark, your package designs, and then your final presentation that will outline your process, your research. It'll include your creative brief and everything else in it. So, so these are some of the files that are available to you for this project. So nutritional facts, if you need them, if that's the type of product you're using. This is a PDF that you can look at and see what size the type has to be, what typeface it has to be, all of those things. Then UPC codes, so you can see which ones you can use on your packaging. If it's sold across a counter, it needs the UPC code. Creative brief. So I think you probably have seen this creative brief many times. All of these things will be used to sort of create your final presentation for this project. And I've also provided just a poster for you to sort of lay out your logo word mark, your sample messaging, your target audience. So you can use this file for that. So when you're thinking about which sort of product you're looking for, like I said, you want to think about surface area, interesting product, um, and then um, and then start developing it. I should just sort of show you one from a couple years ago. So this was Julianne Herbert. So uh, she created Gleam, and this was her final presentation. So objectives, um, some um, some target audience profiles, so two of them, and then positioning statements, looking at the competition, considerations, logo development. Now these things we are not going to have because we are going to be using packaging from Dimensions. So it'll be a little bit different. You can find many different types of packages, and you can also change shapes in Dimensions. So, but we will not have this sort of process where we're building mock-ups. Now, the once we sort of get past here, you can sort of see Julianne's process as she's sort of putting together these things. So one is a toothbrush and the other one is tooth powder. So those were her two across categories. She created these to sort of fit together. So pretty good job. You can see the downside of actually trying to mock stuff up, which is the hardest thing to do in the world. So all of these references and all of these files will be available to you. And then when we look at our schedule, we sort of have it broken down into, so you can see how things break down. Week 5, there is Project 1 due. If you break it down into different sort of check-ins. Week 2, so week 2 you're going to present initial research findings, your ideas, your first draft of your creative brief. These are going to have to get done really quickly, so you know, don't spend too much time trying to figure out what you want to do. You know, have a look on Pinterest and Dieline and try and find some interesting categories. Week 3, your marketing brief is due. Along with your marketing brief, your first sort of concepts for your brand mark and name is due. So that's all pretty quick. So you have to get a move on. Week 4 will be a check-in with me to see where you're at, to make sure that you haven't wandered into the forest and are aimlessly trying to figure out what's going on. And then finally, week 5 is going to be the presentation of your final packaging. So along there, you can sort of see these blue areas are different videos that you'll see. So obviously you're watching the P1 video. I've changed it a little bit. So there'll also be a working in Illustrator and Dimensions video, breaking down design elements video for this project. So I think that is it. So start thinking about what you want to do, and hope you enjoy this first project.